Hello people, it's me, Libluini, and we are back playing Dominion 6. Another game, another turn. It is now summer in the year 0 of the Ascension Wars, and we are playing Xibalba, the Middle Age, the age of frog people. And our god, found in Minnesota, is trying to rule the world forever and become primal god of the entire multiverse, or something like this. And we're still fairly early, so not much is happening. One of our crippled units died, because that can happening, and I'm just too lazy to sort out all those crippled units. I mean, sometimes they survive. And the thing is, if I had lots of healer units, I could just pile them up in whatever province they were, and then let my healer converge on those provinces. But as long as this isn't happening to extremely expensive units, that's mostly more headache than it's worth. We have now taken Zebna at the cost of most of our units. Now that's a reversal. Last time we killed far more than this, with nearly 0 losses. This time they massacred us, and only our worm managed to pull this out for us. That's the kind of reversal of fortune Dominion 6 lives for. And our shitty units, it seems. Yeah, we're not going to win much on quality for the force. And it seems this time... Yeah, I remember I wanted to avoid heavy infantry because of this. Remember last time was also a reversal in the makeup of the province. We had more cheap shit and less of the still fairly dangerous heavy infantries. So you have nice protection, even a helmet to protect them from the occasional head hit, and average to good attack and defense skills. The hit points are of course completely normal, as is everything else. They are simply a standard unit. It's just that they're doing just enough damage that a good hit can kill most of our lighter units. Like these one. Protection 8, yeah, 1-2 hits and they are down. And with the defense skill they're getting hit a lot, it seems. Our normal units took slightly less losses, but they're also just normal units with additional hit points, so to speak. And slightly less protection than I expected, but yeah, it seems like this was basically a one-on-one until the worm killed them. In fact, based on what we just watched, the worm core took huge bites out of the light and heavy infantries, causing that rout we saw. Retreat details is, yeah, 7 of ours ran away and 5 survived, so there's some additional losses in the background. We have an unexpected event. 8 air games. Yeah, that's our luck scales working to us, because we have 2 luck, which means more random events and higher chance of them being good. That's something I have started to include in my pretender build-up, since I ironically suck at having luck, and what I've learned the hard way... Oh wait, let us just make up the defense a bit. I learned the hard way is the game sends a lot of events, player and random luck based to you, that will lower your luck scales until you only have bad luck. More tribal warriors here, more wolf tribals. Those aren't so bad, but there's a lot of them. Then we have more heavy infantries. But it's also the highest around here in terms of money based. Yeah, we still have 2 provinces to kill, but we also have to learn to deal without our grudge. Now we can still attack one time simply by abusing the fact that our god can regenerate damage as long as there aren't too many enemy units. In fact, we'll do this now, making the line a bit more open. So this way the troops act more as some sort of ablative armor for the worm. And this should still work, but then I should better get my pretender some additional troops to kill, which means we have to go back to our capital, where we have our first backup giant frog mage. Level 3 in water and 2 in death and earth is kind of nice. But look at our treasury. This means we don't want this. We want another type of mage, the Mukuhu, which is still really good because he starts at level 2 water, which makes him useful for the future and has a 100% chance to get something else. Also nice, high research. Always nice if you have a magic-based hyper army. And now this means we can add more of our tiny sacred warriors. Ah, shit, I still don't have enough resources. Our bad luck strikes again. See, then let's do this. Wait, those are the shitty kinds. We should get the warriors who have at least some protection, I suppose. And spears, of course, they aren't immediately getting dumpstered by everything. So we could, of course, remove a lot of those units to squeeze out another sacred. But I feel as long as we are missing the resources needed, we would just punish ourselves. So let's fill out this army a little bit here. We now have a third squad. And still not enough to do much. Only thing I can do is giving the sheep units to our worm when passing back to the capital. You know what? Okay, that's of course a hard decision. Either we get more income right now, but then our worm has to walk all the way back because he's not strong enough to risk against all those huge blocks of units right next to him. And of course, if we go the slow walk, we would have to survive a lot of battles before we are reaching Trollwoods and can line up with our troops again. Let's look at this again. We fought 50 units and lost half of our army. And to be fair, our worm is fairly beefy. But he's also not immortal. There's also the little thing that your pretender god tends to be stronger in your own territory a lot more. For example, when Fountain, Minnesota was still in our capital, he had something like 196 hit points. Now he is down to 192. That's not permanent, it's because he only 2 cannons instead of 4. And the further we march out of our realm of beliefs, the worse it will get. Funny is, of course, the presence of your pretender god will automatically bestow your entire blessing on everyone. The other funny thing is, of course, because our bless is kind of meh, it's just a little bit of prevention of attrition by giving everyone unbreakable, which is this is affliction resistance bit, and reinvigoration so they can fight longer in longer battles, and that's basically it. The rest is the innate ability to poison everyone who touches them. But that is of course another thing that you have to take losses for, since the enemies have to actually get into melee range and land some hits to get poisoned. And I think it also only works with very short ranges. I'm guessing if you have a long weapon like a spear or something, it won't trigger, only at range 0 or maybe 1 if I'm lucky. To be fair, last time I didn't want to risk using poison troops and find out the hard way that there are limitations I didn't think about. But that didn't work out so well either, so now I'm kind of committed. Well, I have some money left over and could send a bit to our friends the mercenaries. We have crossbows who are in employed by Pyrene, and the Black Fist, some common soldiers who are now in command. Huh. We could get Dante's Stingers, which are just spearmen, and a lot of them. Would be useful, but I have not enough money. On the other hand, getting 50 units, even if it's just for 3 turns, is a lot. So let's do it like this. We need mages, at least 1 mage now. So we have some speed for our early mages, so we can actually do something in battle later. And now I'll have money to send a bit for Dante's Stingers, and we want them in the capital, just in case I'm getting... Hey, yeah, of course, we could overwhelm the tribal warriors at least. That should work out, right? Then we have also more resources, which is important. 12 woods of the forest, which means in general less income and more resources. It's just that we're fairly nice setup here with lots of high population provinces, which means more income than normal. But as a forest province, as you see, 75, while the plains next to it have only 35. And since roughly half of this will end in the capital, of course it makes more sense to get 12 woods first, especially since both provinces have high income this time around, so we're not losing much if we go there. So I'll keep on trucking with Fountain, Minnesota, invading the coastal province down there. It's even better because something I should mention is all our units and most of our units and commanders are amphibious. That means we can just walk into the water if there's not much going on defense-wise. It's a nice option, even if there is not much water in total. But as frogs, we have of course an easier way fighting underwater. So now that I have... Oh wait, I have talked so much I completely forgot to bid. So let's go to... So more would be a waste, and if no one is looking we can nab something. That's why Pyrene has both of them. Sometimes people kind of forget that mercenaries exist and don't even bid. So I've set up 303, that should go above any lazy, oh let's see if no one is looking kind of bid. And if someone wants them this much, they can have it. It's not like we'll lose the money. I think we get the bid back if someone is bidding more. And now we have some... yeah, okay, that's funny. Let's see, what do we need more? Well, we need more sheep troops in case our dump... But we also need... Let's take it like this. Okay, and then... And the dart throwers are... Yeah, that's not much. But sacreds, capital only sacreds, I don't want to stop completely recruiting them, especially since, well, they're better stats than our normal units and of course can be powered up over Blessing. They are still not that good actually, they're just better than our normal troop lineup. We're depending a lot on this poison skin triggering a lot. And that's it for this turn. Until we actually get some mercs we can't attack right now. And we have to hope that our pretender keeps on trucking. And that's it for this turn. And oh, another double turn. I guess I've waited too long. Oh, we'll back in a minute. Okay, and we are back. The second of our double turn. We are now late summer in the year 0. We have finished our first tiny level of conjuration magic and have now access to not much really, but we are on the way. We had our battle in Orman of course, and we had immediately an event. And I guess this is spoiling already that we won. We got heat +1 and I won fire again. There are rumors of a hidden side of mystical power. Oh great, there may be a fountain of fire, but I think testing another game revealed that we need at least level 4 in fire, or one of those fire side search spells. We have neither. But let's see, we lost most of our ablative armor, and then the worm was just biting everyone to death. Yeah, there's not much going on. We have used up our starting army already. That's why I went with an awakened god this time. Otherwise, it would have been fairly slow. Again, the heavy infantry refuses to die. We have to basically kill them one by one with our god. We took some damage, but the regeneration is already at work getting everything back. That's where the affliction resistance comes in, because all those hits, even if regenerated away, can cause those nasty afflictions, like suddenly getting mute or something. That would be nasty and could incapacitate our pretender pretty damn fast. Hey, at least we have now gained enough experience to get some light stat upgrade. We're now at attack skill 16. Now we can bite even harder. Let's see. Oh, plus 18 HP, that's nice. And we still have barely nothing in terms of fatigue. Because of course the invigoration eats the fatigue up a lot faster than we can accumulate them. We can bite a lot of people. Oh, it's cute. Our priest tries to stab people in the back. That was an easy victory, again. And we even get the horseless rail, which means we can now horse brothers and extra unit to native province defense. Interesting. Horse brothers. They are cavalry, and more importantly, they are bow troops, so we now have a site where we can recruit archers if we need them, and they're even archers with horses, which means half the hits will be eaten by the horses instead of the archers, which is always useful. They don't have lances, so don't have a charge strike. But they're skilled riders, which is always neat. Basically prevents the horses from panicking and gives them higher defense. Yeah, that's neat. They are of course fairly expensive since they are not meant to be archers, but of course if we were only wanted to have some archers, we could also get the actual archers. Same range, shittier stats, less protection. The archers, if they get into a melee range, you did something very, very wrong. The horse archers, of course, the horse brothers cost 3 times as much, but on the other hand, yeah, okay, protection is lower, but actually hitting them will be a pain in the ass for the enemy. But they have higher moral and horses, of course. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing this means is probably for the best to put a fortress into Alman now that we are down here. If we don't find anything better, lets me upgrade the defenses here, so there are at least some of those horse brothers in the defense lineup. And now there are 100 units. About. That's always dumb. At least it's not... yeah, okay. That's too scary for me. I'm sending my scout down here to see what I can do, and yeah, that's not much. We're down to 3 units, and those are the bodyguards of the commander. What I can do is, of course, I could try to do something with my assassin, since it's just a wolf tribe warrior here. That could be a nasty little surprise. But since I can only assassinate someone if I'm in the province already, I would have to wait anyway. So can I reach back home in 1 turn? Okay, I see I have to look closer here. My worm can go back to Xibalba in 1 turn. Our leader has to hoof it. Well, good news. That means I can just use the leader that is already here. And now we have 2 mages. And we are lucky because the second mage coming out got an extra path in water. That's a nice little thing. So now we have to switch to a bit of researching. That means we now have to go to the cheap ahas, who are priests and mages and have lower research powers. Or to the ahas, the aids, those are 90 gold. Those are 140 gold. That's a question, yet. No. Okay. Let's do it like this. The next army I'm building will need some kind of priest, and the commanders may be priests themselves, but that's probably not enough if I'm managing to recruit enough of our little poisoned frogs. And now I have finally enough here, and you noticing I have suddenly a lot more gold than I should have, because yeah, I managed to not get the little stingers. They are now in the employ of Dante stingers. Now we could get cavalry, but they are even more expensive, and I think I rather depend on my own units. And we have our first neighbor, Abizia, showed up, a fire nation of fire people. Now that's of course troublesome, because they probably try to eat up the surrounding provinces. Yeah, it's a bit lucky that our worm can now go back all the way to Xibalba, because we need him soon. And careful, we don't want sacred dart throwers. Let's see. Yep, we're still lacking resources. That's a kind of dump. I'm guessing normally Xibalba would be in a cave province with lots and lots of resources, and the nation is kind of set up for this. And instead we have this weird mixed terrain of forests and mountains and river. The resources aren't too bad actually, but our poison frogs need a lot of resources. It's kind of funny. I guess obsidian armor is very hard to make. They should have done this like the Aztecs and just make hide armor with obsidian splinters woven in. It would have caused a lot less of then again, somehow making an obsidian blade that's also poisonous is probably where all the most of the resources go to. In comparison, our normal warriors, who are just armed with bronze and some hide, no, those are cheap as fuck. So since we need mostly normal units and some Datras, that's the minimum we should aim for. And then, now look how many sacreds we can squeeze in. 2, of course. So and the cheap Datras. Okay, we need cheap numbers for our overlord when he reaches here. And since the Dart... Oh wow. Chest wound. That must be one of the survivors that made it here. But this also means we really don't need that much dart throwers actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is problematic. Well, let's see. 3, 6. Oh, perfect. Now we can squeeze in a normal unit again. So now we get a small handful of dart throwers, a bigger chunk of spear chuckers, and then 2 sacreds more. And then we'll have to see how our worm does with them together. And the second guy then gets a complete new army of his own, while we are walking around supporting our main army with our pretender. And then I'll see if I can do something down there, if I have another priest to go. Yeah, it's a bit amazing that our bad people, it would be nice if I want to, yeah, they're a good nice choice if I want just to do some research and to have some death paths, which could also be useful for the future. Also nice, of course, is our stupid assassins. They are not as good in attacking as other assassins, and they of course can't be that makes themselves sacred. So I mean they can't bless themselves. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess it would be best if I set them to fire or something, so they run into range and then try to poison someone with paralyzing poison before hitting them in mortal combat. Really, the best way to use them right now is to clear out provinces like these where there are wolf tribe commanders, because tribal warrior commanders are about as useful as their main combatants. They're even weaker than the normal commanders you find in basic infantry provinces, which means a small army could clear them out fairly fast if I'm using assassins. So what I'm doing in the near future is, with my pretender coming in, I'll send him out with a completely normal army, since he's the pretender and can just smash his way into a lot of stuff and our normal army couldn't. And then I immediately start recruiting some more assassins so I can clear out some of the outlying provinces before Abysia can get to them. I mean, I'm still a bit blinder since assassins are also our only scouts. Scouts, that's a good... Oh, yes, of course. I can recruit some scouts. No, no. But we have at least one province chucking out normal scouts, so we can start looking a bit behind our borders. Always useful. There's a lot of forest in the north, but also a lot of juicy provinces. We also have our first information about water provinces in Baptizer. 50 Triton guards and Tritons. Not that threatening if we can get a good sized army down there. But considering how juicy all the land provinces are, and since there are not really any contests in underwater nations right now, let's not do this. But this also of course means Abysia is here, somewhere close by, since I've been taking a province each turn, so both of us can't really have moved that far. Dendra Nigra is also a big province, and apparently a lot of those provinces here in this region of the continent have high income. I'm sometimes marveling at the weird clustering going on with the random map generator in Dominion 6. But anyway, that's all we can do for now. Let's go and try this again next turn. Libluini out. Hello people, it's me, Libluini, and we are back with Dominion 6. Let's playing Xibalba, the nation of normally bad people, but in this day and age, frog people. In Fountain, Minnesota, we'll try to conquer the world. We are now in the early fall in the year 0, and we're still fairly deep in the beginning. Int. Needed a new prophet. Either they lost one already, or they're the player of Int forgot. I certainly don't remember. Another event in Orman. We get nature gems thanks to a split trunk of an oak. Thank you, split trunk of an oak. Research is going on. We're collecting our low-level spells. Yeah, the absolute minimum base levels are on the way. And strategic level. Yep. Our neighbors here aren't doing anything, but they're moving upwards, as I suspected. Let's say 2 turns waiting to look, 1 turn running away. I mean, 99% of the time they will die anyway if they're too deep in enemy territory. And now, did I script error something already? Nope, then this is... I'm now pressing Ctrl 1 to put down a script. Just in case you didn't know. Oh, I already scripted. Well, okay, I completely forgot this, so Just so you know, the numbers 1 to 9 and 0 on your keyboard can be used to save up to 10 scripts. And I like to start with 2 of the most used scripts by me, 2 turns and holding and 2 turns and running away for my very basic scouts and commanders, because I'm lazy as fuck. Towards the end game I tend to get a bit squeezed since mage scripts are a lot more work, and there's always not always one script more than I have places to save. If you are playing this game and didn't know, if you press down Control and one of those numbers, then you are saving the script you are highlighting. Just in case there is confusion, you actually have to move your mouse over so that it lights up, otherwise the game will just ignore whatever you are trying to do. And after I do this, I send the scout upwards to the north to see what Abizia is doing there. Lava warriors, dangerous foes. And because I have no scouts up there, I have no idea how they are doing in battle. I suppose they came from the gateway down here in Deep Mount, possibly? I should probably send the next scout in this direction to take a look underground. So next step up, we have an assassin here and possible victims. So let's assassinate enemy commander. Because the funny thing is, the independence units and commanders inclusive aren't growing back. They are the opposite of our province defense, which will after every battle always restore itself back to full until it's defeated completely. This can of course be very annoying if you have to want to defeat an enemy player's province defense, and a cheeky bastard has just put down the equivalent of 1000 gold coins to pay for your huge defensive army. But on the other hand, if you manage to assassinate enemy leaders in independent provinces, they aren't coming back. So if we do this a couple times, it's possible that I'm just using this guy, which I recruited off screen, because earlier I did not have time for recording. This guy then can make a very cheap attempt to clear out this province, because if you have units but no commander, they will auto-route and run away as fast as their little legs can carry them. So next up, our little army here is ready, and I think it's time to do something new. Oh yes, of course, he is the prophet. Of course, this is kind of now a bit awkward, since I don't even need, technically speaking, the script, since my pretender is right next to the prophet. So I'm just doing some basic shit here. Holy word or word of stone? Yeah, that's situational as fuck. Word of stone. Damage, armor negating, can be negated against magic resistance, and turns people to stone. Well, sounds useful. More useful than anything else. Then I'll summon of courage, because that one gives a little bit of a moral raise to people in range. Holy Avenger just makes it so that everyone taking a strike at the prophet will get hit back, and Divine Blessing automatically affects every sacred unit. So that I don't have to do this ever again, I'm putting this on free. And then this guy, oh yeah, I completely mixed this up because he doesn't need this. He's a priest. If I put him to casting spells, yeah, but he can only cast 2 spells at once. But we might get another type of priest later, where we want to be a little bit more precise. Pull from the grave. It's a damage spell that only affects undead beings, so not really useful. So and this will be now script number 4. To confirm, 1, waiting then running, waiting then staying, then lots of holy magic, then less magic. Yeah, he can stay there. He already has some guards or basic surviving infantry. So this guy will reach Xibalba next turn. And now we don't need any more priests, because there is already one here now, this guy. And with this, our next army should be ready. We have one commander who is also a priest, and another priest mage. Both of them should be capable of blessing up the major numbers of sacreds we can squeeze out right now. And I can recruit one step up on the list, because I'm just banking money right now because we don't have the resources to get more sacreds. We can basically choose between having not enough sacreds and having not enough everything. Suboptimal. So, did we unlock something that could help us? Well, nope. We have the good old Cold Bolt, a basic combat spell for water magic. Insane range, shorter than normal casting time, but hits only one person. 30 kills, 20 is a bit normal. Armor piercing damage and magical is always nice. But of course, it's not something we need right now. Still, until we research more shit, all those levels are wasted. We just need our little guy to survive for a while. Now let's look here. You can go a bit further beyond. I'm putting our basic infantry of holding attack, so I'm not immediately running forward and getting slaughtered. Then our poisonous infantry and sacred to boot. I'm putting a bit downwards and a bit back. And then we have our dart throwers. Well, they have such an insanely short range. Only thing I can think of doing is giving them the hold fire command and putting them a little bit further forward. And then the other guys, please go back. And this includes, of course, some random mages too. But this should mean we give our pretender god a couple turns to catch up. So the entire army doesn't run forward and get slaughtered before our god can even be there. And if there is some long range shit encountering us, they should be targeting the useless dart throwers first. Then our normal infantry, and only then start shooting behind. And hopefully, because long range weapons can cause a lot of spray all over the place, our little tiny blocks are far enough evaded. If, for example, archers are plastering our poor little dart throwers, then all the missing arrows or bolts will hopefully stray behind them into empty space instead of hitting someone else. So that's it. Well, we can't really wait because there is an angry nation of lava people marching around, so I'm sending Fountain, Minnesota in together with our prophet and see if we can take Trollwoods, and after that we're crossing the river into Okeriab. And hopefully by then I have done some scouting, because it would kind of suck if Abysia is running rampant too much here. If I'm scouting down below and there is not much going on, probably we have an early war on our hands. But let's see. For now I'll try to be cheeky and look if I can make a little extra attack with a random commander. And that's it. Still the early phase, not much can be done right now. Lipluini out.